All right, welcome back to Whyspace.
Hey guys.
Hello, everyone. We have a very extensive show today. I should probably take a screenshot of how extensive the notes are. We
They're
were just
detailed.
discussing. I really went overboard this time, which is not like me. So
But
here we go.
first off, I think I just need to tell you how thankful I am that you joined us this week because you're famous now,
Oh, I forgot. I
right?
yes, you're
Listen,
welcome. You're welcome. I am.
if you have
So,
not seen the New Heights podcast, our very own Mandy Asbury has now
right
become
here.
famous because she was on it.
I totally forgot that happened. So I kind of needed that boost today. Yeah. Literally Jason and Travis talked about me and my name and yeah, and answered my question. And I really think it was a heck of a question.
Yeah, and they enjoyed it.
So yeah, so my question was for them if they would ever consider allowing themselves to be roasted like Tom Brady was, which we're going to talk about, and if they did, who they would want to roast them. And their answers were so on par with what I thought was going to happen. I figured Jason would be like, no. But I knew Travis, in all his friendships with comedians, he'd be like, oh, yeah, bring it on. Which
Right?
is, of course, why he's perfect for Taylor because he can handle all of that. But yeah, they talked about me. So weird to hear him say my name. I was just like,
I
what
know.
is happening?
Well, so I didn't watch it until last night before I went to bed. And so when they got to that part, of course, I was like really honed in on it. And just seeing your little picture with your tweet
I
up there, I'm like,
telling you, it was a big moment for me. That will go down in my memories for sure.
it was fun. That was a
Um, yeah, freaking love their show and them. Well, speaking of them, Laura, this is your warning. Go ahead and skip probably the next 15 to 20. We're going to talk a little bit about Taylor Swift. I don't know if y'all ever heard of her. New topic for us. Also, love that your dog just peeked over the table and terrified me to no end. I was like, oh my God, there's a person behind you.
there's something here.
So the Eras tour started back after a 2 month break yesterday
Yes.
in Paris. There I went in my brain, time zones. Was that really yesterday there? Guys, we don't
They
know. Don't ask. And I actually
yesterday.
think while we're recording, their Paramore's probably about to take the stage again to start the
Yep.
Friday night show there. I don't even know anymore. Anyway, she's in Paris right now. So big news, guys. The whole set list is totally different. Um, the outfits are different, but guys, I mean, that's all exciting. We were texting yesterday. I'm not a big fan of the color orange, and most people can't pull it off, in my opinion. That girl can pull anything off. She looked like $1 million in a lot of the orange attire. Wow. I just am like, how do you God? And her body, you know what I love about her body? That sounds like a weird statement, but
I'll finish that thought.
let me rein that in. She's not pencil thin. And I
She
know there's
looks
always,
incredible.
yeah, I know there's always been all this criticism about her body and people are stupid. We establish that every week on the show. People are just stupid. Um, she's not pencil thin, but my God, her legs and her arms,
Right?
dear Lord, they are so killer. Now, of course, when you run 3 hours a day,
Right.
you deserve that. So, but yeah, so there's new outfits. The set list is different. The order of the eras is different. And honestly, as someone who's seen it twice and watched the live streams for probably 300 times, I was so confused what was happening. I didn't
Yeah.
get to watch it all either because I do have a job. And we have a lot going on at my house. So I missed most of it, honestly. And then when I got online, I was like, I'm sorry, wait, what happened? So I've had to
Yeah.
piece everything together, but the eras are different now. She's combined folklore and Evermore, which I'm kind of good with.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, when I saw Red was suddenly after Fearless, I was like, what is happening? I am so confused. 19 so what I want to say about the outfits. 1989, she did come out in a different outfit. You were very confused because you thought it was supposed to be a one piece. It's never been. It's always been a two piece, but this was a new two piece, and it was not it was pink and blue, and then one shoe was blue and one pink was pink. I'm not entirely sure why the shoes were different, but what I noticed was that outfit, her new Fearless dress, which I thought was stunning, those are all harkening back to the outfits that she wore on those specific tours.
Okay.
If you go look at tour pics from Fearless, the Fearless dress she had on yesterday, which was like had a black setting to it and then like the gold pizzazz,
Uh-huh.
that's almost identical to what she wore on the Fearless tour. And then with the 1989 tour, that outfit was almost identical. The shoes, though, there's something to that. That is, I don't know why the shoes were different. And I'll be very interested to see today. Something is up with that. I haven't even seen any theories, but something is weird about that. But the best part of it is that the Tortured Poets department is now on the set list, and y'all,
Yeah.
your girl has seen it twice and spent more money than we want to talk about. I will see it at least another time to see that live because, guys, if you haven't gone to look at the videos on TikTok or Twitter or anywhere, you must. It is freaking incredible. So theatric, over the top, also very much harkening to old tours, like with the kind of like the circusy big
Yes.
band thing.
Yeah.
When our girl started singing "But Daddy, I Love Him,"
Right.
done.
Do you remember the episode that we recorded right after we listened? And I was like, not a fun hang. This isn't a great album. Like, we're not going to listen to it again.
Best tour I've ever seen.
Oh my gosh. Then I kept, because you were like, I bet she adds it into the tour. And so for a while, I was like, why would you add that into a tour? It's not going to be good. I take it all back. It was the songs that she picked. I was like, those are perfect. The choreography, how she put it together, it was so good. And I've not been to any of the concerts, but I've watched several of the live streams.
Mm-hmm.
It almost gave the aspect of a brand new opening night. Like, it was just a whole
different show. And like this goes to, I've seen what people have been saying online, like, this woman is on top of the world. Mm-hmm. Was already on this like massive tour that was killing everything. It was incredible. Puts out this album out of nowhere that is incredible. Also having put out 2 albums last year during this, and then she literally redid the entire show. Yeah. And I'm telling you, those performances of the Tortured Poets department are the best performances I have ever seen in live music. And it is not just because I'm a Taylor fan.
Her vocals.
Oh my God. Gosh. The people that say she can't sing, y'all are flat out idiots. Like, you have got to hear this. Like, sister was singing and those mics were on. She does not lip sync. You can totally tell because when she laughs or she makes a weird noise, you hear it all.
Yeah.
Her vocals were insane.
Yeah. There's a few of those songs that she sang that either to get up to that note or to drop down to the note, even for a musician, you kind of have to be still and focus where you're about to send your voice. She's moving and dancing and going upstairs, and sounded better than the actual album. I was like, how do you do this? I'm
going to tell you, a live album of that would be, they were recording last night, so there's no doubt we're getting a documentary, the tour, and you know, you and I will be beyond excited. We love a good documentary. So she kicked it off with Daddy I Love Him, which always going to win in our book. But then she quickly transitioned into only about 30 seconds, if that much, of So High School. So it does confirm, I had to explain this to Becca. She's still learning here. That does confirm that at least the ending is about Travis in But Daddy I Love Him, which I have always said. I'm going to say because of the way she left out, she did, she condensed the songs. I mean, you'd have to at this point, but some of the verses and lyrics that she left out made me think that there may be more in that song about him than just the ending. But she went straight into So High School, which is so about, she might as well just say it from the stage that it's about Travis. And it was a very high school theme with the lights like at a football stadium, cheerleaders. That was.
If you saw on X or Twitter, all of the choreography that was done in that small snippet of So High School was all choreography from his touchdown dances or clips that we've seen of him with his team. Like how fun. First off, that was fun
Yep.
to see.
Yeah.
Second off, then my brain went into how detailed is the brain of Taylor Swift to
Oh,
like
y'all. I
not
think
only
it's a
remember
frightening
all of
place.
it, but then piece it together and have her team like make it come alive. Like wild. It's just wild.
Yeah, so I'm interested to find out, and I know that if it is this person, I'm sure she'll say it. And her name just left me. The woman that has choreographed the rest of the show that did, it just left me. I want to say Greta Gerwig, but that's the director. Well, crap, I can't think of her name. Anyway, very famous director or choreographer. I'm interested to see if she choreographed this because it does feel different than the choreography on the rest of the tour. But I also wonder if Taylor came into that meeting and was like, all right, so we're going to do So High School. Here's the clips of Trav's dances that I want included, and swag surfing must be included because it happens at Chiefs games.
Yeah.
And like,
Maybe
I just wonder how that conversation went. But I mean, I cannot wait for him to be there. I am curious. I have not been on social media at all today. I'm curious if he's there tonight or if he's going to be there this weekend because in that song, when she says the part about I look at you, you know she's going to point at him because she pointed to the audience. You know she's going to point right at him and we're going to die. And then at the part where she says, you know ball and I know Aristotle.
yep.
Did you see me just do the choreo?
I did.
I just did the choreo. That was really sad.
Listen,
She
that's
does
like
a basketball thing, but I just know she's going to like throw a
yeah.
touchdown instead when he's there and we will die Ben. Gone.
It would be the best thing ever. So I think he was recording or filming yesterday. I'm really hoping that that wraps and he can get to
I don't
Paris.
think he can get there today. My guess is he is going to get there for tomorrow's show. Again, I don't know what that means and when he'll really get there timing wise. My guess is he'll be there for Saturday, Sunday shows, stay for a few days, and then he's going to have to come back to Kansas City for the Kelce Jam. And then I think he and Jason have been more than obvious that they will both be in London because they're also, I think, going to a Wrexham game with Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney. And so I think they've been real obvious that they'll be there then, which of course we will die dead over that as well.
Yep.
I will also say, so surprise songs at the show last night, she did Paris, which seems fitting, but it also makes me think she's going to do So Long London in London.
Maybe.
And I can't wait to see that live. I think it'll be she did LOML last night too with Paris, which the vocals on that,
so,
dear God. What was your favorite? So of the TTPD songs that she added, what was your favorite one that she did performance wise?
I can do it with a broken heart.
That was amazing.
Or Who's Afraid of Little Old Me? God,
the theatrics on that one. Y'all, I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you, if you're one of the Sarahs and Hannahs, if you will, I'm praying for you today because the graphics in the back of that when her eyes lit on fire, I know y'all are on your knees praying for her right now, and she doesn't care.
We told you the devil had her soul.
Yeah, she doesn't care, neither do I. So, the theatrics on that, I don't think yet I can pick one because I'm a sucker for drums. I don't know why. I just always have been.
Ooh.
But the drum line on Smallest Man, Whoever Lived, or whatever it's called, so good. And all of that entire choreography was mocking Maddie Healy, and your girl was here for it.
Yep.
Even the graphics, when it like made the silhouette of her face in smoke.
Yeah.
I just love every minute.
There's just so much detail in her brain that
it's terrifying.
It's wild that she can do all of that. I would love to know when she let like her choreographer, her background dancers, everybody know like, hey, not only am I dropping a new album, but we're redoing the entire tour on the order, and you have to learn new songs, you have to learn new choreography. Like, how long did they have to prep that? Do you think she told them at the beginning of the tour? Do you think she told them?
So I think probably when they had the my opinion is when they had the conversations about the tour, which you have to think about, those conversations would have started in 2022.
Yeah.
At the latest, honestly. So I'm sure that there was like okay, when we do the reset and we go to Europe, we're going to change things up. So there's that. And then I'm sure it kind of trickled in information wise, but that was a lot of choreography, a lot of stage design. The part when she's like levitating, which is so freaking cool.
Yeah.
That's a lot of set design, a lot of moving pieces that has to have been in the works for at least a year. I mean, has to be. I also, it did terrify me a little bit because I just am like, oh, something's going to malfunction and that's really going to throw everything off. And if she falls off that thing, because normally when she's on something that's moving, she has a harness. She
Yeah.
doesn't have a harness this time. She's just leaning on that white pole. And I was like, oh my God, she's going to fall. It's going to be bad.
I was like, is that just a PVC pipe? Is that going to pop
That's what it
over?
looks like. I wonder
Or
what it
is
looks
that
like in person.
slide?
Yeah. They were all so freaking good. Her dancers, this is probably, I mean, you and I both love the Reputation thing on Netflix.
Yeah.
No, Disney. No, Netflix,
It
right?
was on Netflix. It's not on
Yeah,
anything now.
so confused. Those were great dancers too, but these are just the personality of these dancers too. I love how she highlights them. I love that she has Cam do his things, and he had
Yeah.
stuff in TTBD too. But I also really love that. So there were some songs that were replaced. Some of the ones people were upset about kind of surprised me because like she replaced Tolerate It, which again was a good theatrical moment in the show, but to be honest, both times I saw it, it was a boring part for me.
Yeah.
Um, but I love that like though that dancer like kind of lost that big moment, he got other big moments now in TTBD. And like
Yeah.
she took off The Last Great American Dynasty. And so the girl that played Rebecca Harkness, the redheaded dancer, she lost all that, but then she got new stuff, and so I just love that, like, I don't know, I really love what they added, what they're doing. They're all so insanely talented, and they all seem to really, really adore her, and it comes through in their dancing
You can tell
and
they
just
all
their timing.
genuinely enjoy it. But there's a
Yeah.
lot of times where I think you can see performances, and those dancers are literally just counting in their head. They're here to do their job, and they aren't
Hmm.
as free to kind of do what's comfortable to them. And
Right.
it's very evident that they're all very talented, but that they're truly enjoying being on this tour, which is
Um,
a lot for as long as they've been doing this tour. A lot of
well,
times,
and this,
they're exhausted.
so I follow, I would say probably the majority, if not all of the dancers on social media. It sounds like, at least of the dancers, it sounds like that they're not going to go home at all. Um, because
Okay.
like they've made comments about, hey, I'm going to be gone for the next 2 months, like kind of thing. And I mean,
Yeah. That's a
I don't know much about, I wouldn't say very many of them have I noticed. Several of them I have noticed are married. I haven't noticed any of them with children. Like her backup singers, the Starlights, who have been with her for 15, 16 years, they all, well, all but one has kids and like little kids. So
yeah.
it's a big commitment, but I could also bet that she may bring their families. I could just see that too.
That's what I was thinking. I bet
Um,
there's a time where she flies them all in.
yeah. Other little Easter eggy things that I noticed, and again, I haven't seen the whole thing. I probably won't see a whole show until tomorrow, live at least. The T-shirt that she wears during the Red era, it was new, and this time it said this is not Taylor's version. So I've seen some theories about this briefly that I didn't consider. When
Okay.
I first saw it, I assumed it was mocking me for waiting on Reputation. And of
Same.
course, you've given up. You don't believe it's happening at all.
No, ever.
You're wrong, but we're going to go with it. So that's what I instantly thought. Still could be that. But I've seen two other interesting theories now that I want to bring up to you because
Okay.
I love to make you force you down these holes that you pretend you don't want to be in, but you do. Um, the first one is this may be her way of telling people, making the announcement that she has bought back the Masters now.
Okay.
So that has been a rumor for a while that potentially because they have sold again. Scooter Braun does not own the Masters now. They've sold to another group whose biggest stakeholders are Jared Kushner's family. I'm just going to leave that alone. But that there's been rumors that potentially they don't even own it anymore. But no one has ever confirmed anything. And so that is very interesting. Obviously, her masters were devalued as the new versions came out, especially like when the streaming numbers flipped. So that's potential. Not that she couldn't afford them if they were still valuable, but and when I say devalued, we're still talking gazillions of dollars. We're not talking like it's $100 now.
Right.
So that's an interesting theory. The other interesting theory that I saw was, if you noticed when the Eras Tour went on to Disney, it now says it's the Eras Tour Taylor's version. When it was in the theaters, it did not say that.
Yeah.
And so they were insinuating that, like, does that mean like there's another version of the movie? I don't think so. I think that potentially that could mean the documentary.
Ooh, that would make me happy.
Yeah. So that was a super interesting little nugget. The visuals pre-Reputation were new. They more matched the movie. I don't take that as an Easter egg.
No.
I just take that as like refreshing kind of thing. She still ended with the Midnight's Era, and that made me really happy because Karma is such the perfect ending to that show.
Yes.
The only other Easter egg that I have seen any conversation on so far, which I know I've missed a ton, used to, when she would switch to the Fearless Era, the Lover House background would burn down. Now it falls down.
And wasn't it empty?
It was empty this time too. And I know that if you're not a big Swiftie, you're probably like, okay, who really cares? She never does anything that is not intentional.
Right.
So it used to burn down, and now it falls down.
Yeah.
And so the theories I was seeing around that was, if a home burns down, you have to go in and like clean the lot, like pull all the rubbish out. There's still a lot of work to be done to the remnants that are left.
Mm-hmm.
This falls down, just gone. Basically insinuating a lot of what we got from her prologue on TTPD, like, this is all done. This is all over.
Yeah.
And so it will be super interesting to see. But I know there were a million other things that happened that I just didn't even pick up on because I've had to catch it all on TikTok.
No, but it was so good.
I can't wait. I must see this again at least once. If your girl's in, I'm definitely going to New Orleans, but I may just show up in Miami. I'm just saying.
Who knows?
Just because I don't want to go to Indianapolis, because what's in Indianapolis? So, Okay, let me check my timestamp. Okay, we'll tell Laura at 22 minutes she can hop back on. Okay. So let's talk about the Met Gala.
Yes.
If you are not familiar with the Met Gala, it is not at all probably what you think. It is actually like a fundraising event for a exhibit.
Yes.
In New York. It is hosted by Anna Wintour, the editor of Vogue. If you've seen The Devil Wears Prada, she is who they made over as the devil, which seems plausible. Just saying.
Point.
So essentially what happens is every year she handpicks who's invited to this celebrity-wise, and she also has kind of a host committee of celebrities. It's known obviously for its fashion. The exhibit is about fashion. She's the editor of Vogue. What else would it be about? It's a big deal. Would love to be invited if y'all would like to. I saw, I was listening to Brianna and Grace from Barstool, and Grace was like, I don't want to go. No, your girl here, I would love to go.
I would love to.
Will I be nervous and very anxious? Yes, but I want to go. So let's talk about the fashion first.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts? What did you love? What did you hate?
So with the Met Gala, because it is a fashion thing, you have to go into it expecting not Oscar like red carpet look. Like, it's supposed to be over the top crazy. However, there's still a theme every year. The thing that I noticed the most this year is I didn't feel like that the celebrities clearly understood the theme.
Yeah.
Because it was the reawakening of fashion, the garden of time. Okay. Well, the reawakening of fashion, they meant like redoing old fashion pieces. But then Garden of Time makes you think florals. So you had some people that went the floral route, some people that went like redoing fashion, but the two don't go together. So the whole time I was like, what's happening here? Because I didn't understand the black dresses. I was like, why would you wear black to this?
Yeah.
Or there was a lot of like white and cream dresses. And I was like, it's not a bridal thing. But Anna Wintour was in a white dress with a black overcoat. That had florals on it. And I was like, what? So I didn't love that.
Did you see what Anna said about how she got the theme this year?
I know I heard it, but I forgot now what she said. Wasn't it Taylor? It was something with Taylor.
Yeah, folklore. It was the aesthetic from the folklore era.
Yeah.
And that would have made sense if they had followed the correct thing. But
so I thought it was more into like garden and floral and that would have all made sense. I didn't love Lana Del Rey's outfit, but I felt like it was the most on theme for the Met event with the given theme that they had this year.
Yeah, so Lana was like in a sheer kind of creamy kind of colored thing, but she had this what can only be described like a mosquito net around her with sticks. And I know that sounds super weird, and it is, and it's totally Lana weird, but it was very on brand for her and the theme. So it was weird as heck. But yeah,
I also think what made her outfit better was that when she was at the top of the stairs doing the interview next to Kim Kardashian, she kept moving and she was hitting Kim every time, and I was like, "Keep doing it. We love to see it."
We love any time that Kim or Amy, whomever, gets obliterated. We'll have more about that in a minute on another topic. But the one thing that kind of freaked me out, Lana did this, as did Bad Bunny. They had shoes that were hooves.
Yeah.
That creeped me out. I need us to like, we're human or we're not human. Like, I don't like these like half. It creeps me out.
I think for me, it's so weird to see all of these like famous people who have handlers who are usually like star of the show when they get out of the car, and they're literally all crammed into like this little entranceway waiting
like a stairway. Like they're all like on one stairway together. It
was so weird seeing that, and then like because you go up like one at a time or two at a time, and then everybody's stopping to take pictures. So it takes forever to get them up the stairs. Especially a lot of those dresses are not meant to be walked in. So
well, did you see the singer Tyla? Now I thought her dress was super interesting. It was actually made of sand, and I still am confused how this happened. But they had to literally lift her up step to step to step. They had to help several people, but hers was like a legit. We got to pick you up and move you.
If I was going to go to the Met, one of the things that I would make sure is built into my outfit is that I could get up the steps without potentially falling and embarrassing myself.
Yeah. And I don't need you to pick me up because that's embarrassing too. Yeah.
I also find it interesting. This year, number one, I thought a lot of celebrities just came in like what they would have worn to the Oscars. Like it was a nice dress, a nice gown, but it wasn't anything over the top.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so one of the I love Gracie Abrams as a person and an artist. She very much went the old school, like very like Audrey Hepburn kind of look. But it felt very Oscar-y to me. I mean, she looked beautiful, but I normally feel like Gigi Hadid kills it, and I thought this was a miss. Now I will say, so she was in a white dress that had a floral pattern right in her her area. And that's like how she left the hotel. So that was the first we saw her, and I was like, oh, this is a total miss. Yeah. And then when she got there, she had this elaborate train that had more floral work in it. I liked that better, but it was still a miss for me. She has a short bob right now, which is not my favorite look on her.
The hair and makeup, I think, is what threw the whole look off.
Yeah.
It wasn't great.
There was a couple of years ago, I want to say it was 2022, maybe. Do you remember the year she was like in a mermaid thing and she had her long hair? Just stunning. And so it's really tough to go to that. Talk about the Kardashian Jenner clan. So we had Kris and Corey Gable, which that whole thing is weird. She had enough white fabric on her for the entire family.
She did white last year, didn't she? Or did she do yellow? She's always done the really light colors that it just doesn't look right.
She is very confusing to me. We did not have Courtney or Chloe. But we had Kylie, who She was in all white too. She too had a lot of fabric, and she also had tones in her
Yeah.
boobs.
Her
I
dress
didn't
was
love that.
very like would wear that to like the Oscars. It was not.
I literally thought you could wear that to a wedding,
Yeah, the
like an
train
over top bra.
placement, and I text
Yeah.
you what I thought that train looked like. The
Yeah.
placement was so odd that I was like, did no one look at what that was going to look like when she put it on? It was
Yeah,
weird.
it just kind of all came out the back end, and we'll let you kind of put
Yeah.
together what you think of that. Kim was in a silver number that I was going to go ahead and say I thought she looked dumb because she so clearly had the most aggressive waist cinching device on the freaking planet. She very obviously could barely breathe. I mean, she just looked stupid. Like,
well, but then when you get into the Met Gala, so like you took 20 minutes to get up the stairs or whatever, you can't sit in that. You can't eat in that. You can't drink. Like, what
I mean,
are you
she
doing?
literally was struggling to breathe, and
Yeah.
it just was stupid. And she has a small waist anyway. Yeah, and then she had on the boyfriend cardigan, which her explanation of that about like he left it, like it's insinuating he left it, or the whole thing seemed very odd.
So the whole premise around her outfit was supposed to. So the bottom of her dress was like metal leaves and floral, like chainmail. So she had said the idea was supposed to look like she had done a romp in the woods. And so her hair was all tousled and messy. And then as she's running out, she grabs her boyfriend's cardigan to wrap around.
Yeah. And the whole thing was weird, people.
No.
I would say of the family.
Cardigan at Kohl's and threw it on this. Like, it's so weird.
Yeah. I've got my theories that there is something amiss with the Taylor world and the Kim world being very enmeshed right now. The cardigan again, I still think there's something to that may be tying to Taylor. The fact that she and Lana basically did the stairs together, I don't know. I'm still not convinced there's not something going on, that Kim's probably like a part of Reputation somehow. But I would say for the family, though, Kendall won for me. It still to me was not, I've seen her look far more gorgeous, but I thought like she just looked the best. But again, nothing I would write home about.
I liked Jessica Biel.
You told me you liked Jessica Biel, and I had different feelings. I hated her hair. I have this thing where I don't like when people go with this look of like their hair is wet.
I mean, it was just loose curls.
I know, but I didn't like it. She looked like a loofah. To me, her dress looked like a loofah.
Okay, I can see that.
And I have a pink loofah right now, and so when I'm using it, I'm like, Jessica Biel just saw this loofah and was like, let's run with it. I don't know. I didn't love it.
Oh,
just because I've seen these people look so stunning before. Yeah. If I had never seen them before, I'd be like, oh, wow. But
you have to think to go to the Met, that has to be so stressful for them, because literally we're judging your fashion, because that's what you're there for, is to see what your outfit's going to look like.
Someone that I did think actually got closer to nailing the theme, and I think people missed it, was actually Sabrina Carpenter and Barry Keogh. Or however you say it.
Yeah.
Because
I didn't love it, but I saw the comparison.
I didn't like it either. I did not like the looks on either one of them or the combination, but it was very Alice in Wonderland. And to me, that was closer to theme.
Did you see Ed Sheeran?
So yeah, I saw with Stella McCartney, she was with Ed Sheeran, Cara Delevingne, and then
he looks like a drunk wedding singer. I did not understand.
It was his first time at the Met too, and I was like, oh,
that's what she looks like.
Something is weird with Ed lately. We've been talking about that. I don't know. Something's going on with him. I did not in any way understand what Cara Delevingne was wearing.
No.
She had like a studded headpiece on, and I usually love anything Stella McCartney, but I just did not understand what was happening.
A hoodie. It was weird.
I didn't get it at all.
Ashley Graham.
Also, I was disappointed by her because I think she's so pretty. To me, I told you, I have a bubble in my throat. I told you the Met Gala was a bust for me this year.
Yeah.
Because the Met Gala icon, Blake Lively, did not come.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen yet why. And I'm very curious because if you don't follow the Met Gala, you probably don't know this, but Blake Lively really is like the modern face of the Met Gala. She actually did not go last year either, but she had like literally just popped out her fourth kid, who we now know is named Robin. Just saying. But she wasn't there this year, and there was no commentary. And last year when she didn't come, she made a post about it because the Met is usually a big deal to her.
Yeah.
There's been no commentary. Now I know she had
saw-
been filming in Italy, but I think that's already over.
So I saw somewhere that she was in New York, but that her and Ryan were doing a family night because she had been filming and he had been off doing Wrexham stuff. I can't remember where I saw that, and I don't
Well,
know
I
if
knew
that
she was in New York because like maybe 2 or 3 nights before she was at the Tiffany event in a gorgeous, if you haven't seen that, you need to go look at her blue dress. Her Tiffany blue dress was so honestly, when I saw that, I could not wait for the Met Gala because I was like, oh, if she nailed that this much, like, oh, she's gonna kill it. And then she didn't even show up. Them just having a family night, I don't know. There is something very odd about that to me. So yeah, overall it was kind of a bust for me. Still entertaining as always. Still totally happy to come, Anna, if you'd like to invite us.
And someone
yes, and I'm going to need a stylist who takes care of that as well.
Yeah. Okay, so if you could pick your own theme for the Met, what theme would you pick?
Okay, so it's gonna sound weird. Okay. And I don't know like what I would call it, but I would do something new age. Because I think you can interpret yes.
Okay.
I know that sounds weird, but I think that you could just do a lot with that. And the reason I pick it is honestly because I feel like even without having that theme, they're all trending towards that anyway. And so, like, I even think Kim's outfit was very much trending that way. And so I think if you actually made that the theme, they would all go all in and it would just be better.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay, I like that one.
What is your theme?
So I had two that I couldn't decide between. The first one that I picked was the theme would be Everyday American. And I want these celebrities to come up with some concept of a gown that resembles what they think everyday moms, dads, workers just wear.
Oh, okay. I like the idea. I could see them going awry with that, but yeah.
Right. And then the other one that would be more like actual, I think something along the lines of like poetry in motion. I think you could do a lot with like, I mean, take Taylor's outfit from that she added with TTPD, where you've got writing on the gowns, you've got the motion in there. You can do things with typewriters, ink pen, like all different things. And I think you could run with that and make it look really cool, theatrically wise.
Yeah, that is really good. It also made me think of an outfit I did want to mention, and I don't know her name, but the woman who had the butterflies like wired around her arms that were actually fluttering. That was impressive. I mean, it was weird, but that was impressive. Like,
yeah. Okay, so no one knew who she was, and I can't remember her name. She's some like tech CEO.
Yeah, like a gazillionaire. Yeah.
8 companies. And I was like, good
on you. Yeah, you probably built that in your own kitchen. Like, yeah, I thought that was cool. She was a very pretty woman too. I will say that I feel like Anna is, I don't know, the invite list this year was disappointing to me. And I think that, and I'm kind of wondering if this plays into why Blake and Ryan were not there. I kind of wonder if your A-list celebrities like them are kind of like seeing it diminish and they're like, meh, because I like the influencer age, like I'm shocked that Anna's even kind of going that way, but it really feels that way. And I don't like that.
No, that's not the kind of event for influencer type people.
No.
No, it was
while we're talking fashion, and I know when we talked about how we were going to do this, I didn't say we were going to do this, but I was thinking we could hop quickly over and hit on the Kentucky Derby.
Okay.
Because it's another event that fashion always plays a role, usually some kind of fascinator for the females.
Yep.
It's Kentucky, so people, it's hit or miss, and it's all over the place. That is the reason I also bring it up now, though, that is another event that I noticed this year feels like it's diminishing some. And I'm a little disappointed because it is also an event that I would love to go to. I did look up the ticket price. I don't want to go that much. But I also wondered, and this ties to another topic on our agenda, it's the same weekend as the big F1 race in Miami,
Yeah.
which does seem to be where people are trending towards. A lot of celebrities like Ryan and Travis, and Patrick Mahomes are investors now in F1 in the Alpine racing. And so it seems like maybe that, like, I don't think they should be on the same weekend if you want people at both.
Yeah, I think the Kentucky Derby is kind of pulling more of your everyday rich person that's gonna
Yeah.
buy a ticket and go there.
Yeah.
The outfits weren't as, I think for the women, it still tends to be a nice cocktail dress, and they want to have a nice hat. If I paid all this money to have this nice dress, I don't want to look like a fool with this crazy hat on.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit more kind of tamed down. I felt like the men's outfits this year were better.
Yeah.
They were the looks that you were like, oh wow, that looks really great. They were more
I love
stylish.
Yeah, I love Travis's that double-breasted white suit. And I loved when people were like putting that image of him in that and the little black hat up with the image of Taylor from the Grammys and the white dress that confused us because it definitely went together. I also thought it was funny that people were like, did Travis get the 22 hat? Like I loved that.
Did
I
you
will
actually
say
watch Kentucky Derby?
I did. Horse racing is really big in Arkansas. Mystic Dam that one is owned by three Arkansas cousins. It's really big in Arkansas, and where I went to college is about 20 minutes from Hot Springs, where the racetrack is in Arkansas, and
Okay.
it's like one of the qualifiers for the Derby, and so it's just always been a really big deal here in Arkansas. And like it only takes what like 2 minutes to really watch it. So I did see
Right?
it. But yeah, I was pretty disappointed at like the caliber of the race wasn't that great, but I was just the caliber of celebrities. Our favorites, Miles and Kelly Teller, were there though. That always makes me happy.
You looked great.
Alex Earl was someone that she was at the Derby, and I was shocked she wasn't at the Met Gala because the way that guest list was trending, I thought she would be at the Met Gala. But
Yeah,
she
I don't know
annoys
that
me, so I
she's
didn't really
rose to
care.
that level, right?
Oh,
No, I watched it this year,
She
which I've
bothers me.
never really watched. I've never really watched the Derby, and so of course the majority of what's televised is like panning the audience, seeing all the
Yeah,
celebrities and the
right.
horses getting set, and then it's like a 5 second race, and I was like,
Oh
"That's
yeah,
it."
it's yeah, yeah. That's the best part. Yeah, it doesn't take long.
I just
So
can imagine like the people that flew in, got hotels, paid all the money for their outfits, paid for the tickets, and like you get in there and then it's over in 5 minutes. I don't
yeah.
know, fiscally responsible just is not something that pops off the
Well,
bat.
let's be honest. I don't think you're going to the to the Kentucky Derby if you are fiscally
I mean,
responsible, unless you're, yeah, like totally loaded. But also that weekend we had the F1 down in Miami. The Mahomes were there. Kendall Jenner was there. Ed Sheeran was there. Tom Cruise. Trav made an appearance in a
Charles, he was there.
total who?
James Charles,
Yeah, that dude pops up in the weirdest places.
right? I was like, that doesn't go
Um,
with your vibe.
yeah, Trav was there in a very reputation coded green Trav like short set that only he could pull off. I did not watch the F1 race. That is another thing that I can't, like, we're just driving in circles. I just
I,
can't. Now, I do find F1 racing more interesting than NASCAR because at least they're not driving for like 3 hours in a circle.
that's true.
Um, but it seems to be kind of the up and coming sport event to be at,
It really
especially
does.
with all of them investing. So I guess maybe we're gonna have to get into it. I don't know.
I
Something
don't
else
know
to
that
add
I
to my
can.
list.
I feel like I can't do that.
It may be a bridge too far, but Mr. Tom Brady is also an F1 investor.
Yes.
And he had a big week as well. So if you haven't seen the Netflix special, they did a roast of Tom Brady. It's worth a watch. So here's my opinion. I understand the point of a roast is to roast an individual, so I'm not confused. Okay. Um, I don't like when it has to become about all these other people. Like if the person themselves does not give you enough content to roast, they're not the right person. So in his situation, there were some really funny jokes at him, but they also really went after Aaron Hernandez several times. And if you're not
Yes.
familiar with Aaron Hernandez, he was a tight end for the Patriots. He ended up going to jail for involvement with gangs, murders, the like. He ended up killing himself in prison. He obviously had massive CTE issues. He also has a little girl who very much knew him, and I just I didn't see the point. Like, we're here to roast Tom
Well,
Brady. Aaron's been gone for several years now. I just didn't get the point.
I think for the players, Tom and Aaron were very close. So they knew that relationship. Whereas a lot of us that maybe are newer to the NFL or just weren't Patriots fans, but we knew the names,
Mm-hmm.
we were probably more of like, why would you bring that up? But to them, it was like, no, this is a part of him. I did not really like that Aaron's fiance or ex-fiance or whatever she would be considered now came out and was like, my
Yeah.
daughter's can't see this. Ma'am, if she Googles her dad's name,
Yeah.
this is the least of the concerns.
Yeah, I
So
did think that too when she said that. I also sometimes you kind of wonder, like, are you clout chasing, even making a statement? So I've seen the back and forth, and of course we never know reality, but allegedly Giselle is very upset about the commentary. I don't know if that's true. Yeah, I don't know if that's true. Honestly don't think she would be, but I don't know
I
her.
think she was upset. It was probably more so any jokes made like at the kid's expense saying that like he's a deadbeat dad or out of the picture now.
Yeah.
I don't think any of the jokes painted her in a bad light. I think they all painted Tom in a bad
Yeah.
light.
Yeah, like he couldn't keep her. I
It
did
was
think there was the one about Bridget Monahan. I thought that was a little tacky just because I think he was tacky in that situation. And she didn't deserve any of that. But we have seen articles that we have shared that he said nothing was off limits except for the jokes about Robert Kraft. And what's his name? Was it Jeff Ross?
yes,
Was that him that he made a joke about, and Tom like got up and whispered to him? I thought that was scripted at first, like for him to say don't do that.
yeah,
I thought that was scripted, but the more I've seen, I don't think it was. I think he was pissed.
yeah. Well, and you could see when Jeff made the joke, Tom shifted in his chair like I want to get up, but also that's not really what you do in a roast. But
Hmm.
then after the joke, he immediately got up and said something. So I
Yeah.
did find that interesting that he was saying Robert Kraft was off limits. I've seen reports where it was like Robert and Tom kind of have a father-son relationship, and so there's still respect there between those two, whereas clearly there's not a lot of respect between Bill and
That's
Tom.
good. Yeah.
So I don't
Um,
know. I was with you on the mindset of when I first started watching it, and I was like, why are we roasting all these other people?
yeah.
I can understand if you pull somebody else into a joke that's still about Tom, like Nikki Glazer's
Oh, she was so good.
cyber coin or whatever joke that still
Yeah.
had
The crypto thing.
that makes sense. That was hilarious. But the
Yeah.
ones specific to the other people, I was like, I feel like we're kind of chasing rabbits
Yeah.
here. But it was a
Just felt
hilarious
like, well, I'm not a big stand-up comic comedian person. And it's funny, Aaron loves that, and so we always kind of go back and forth about that because I'm like, it's just not my thing. I prefer like conversational humor to like I'm gonna stand up and tell you a joke.
yeah.
But I loved her set. I thought it was great. Now, another thing that made I thought was stupid was Kim Kardashian was there. Um, there were all the rumors that they dated. And I'll be honest, I think the way she talked about it, I think she was confirming that something did happen, but like, because she said something like, I always talk this way about all my exes or something.
See, and I felt like
Um,
trying to confirm that she was trying to get with him, but it was never a go.
well, it may have been that too. But listen, I thought it was stupid she was there, but I am here for her being booed so vehemently. I
Right.
loved it.
So I did not watch it when it was live on Netflix.
Oh,
I
so you
watched
didn't
it.
see the booing,
No. And then Netflix clips that out. I was like, mm-mm.
which I was like, well, Kris Jenner doing the Lord's work for Kim because she was massively booed. I mean, really bad, very awkwardly, and they took it out of the recording.
Yeah, they left in the where she's like, okay, okay, okay. They left that
Yeah.
part in, so you hear
Yeah.
like a slight boo, But if you didn't know people had been booing, you wouldn't have realized that's what they were doing.
Or that it was even substantial. And it really was.
But listen, I don't think Kim Kardashian is ever accepting an invitation to a roast again, because the jokes about her, wow, absolutely hilarious. How mortifying to sit there and
yeah. And you're not the one being roasted. Like that's again, you're not even the topic. But I was here for that. I thought it was funny that Tom made a dig at Kanye, and I just know he's gonna have some lyric about that next. But so overall, it's definitely worth a watch, though. It can be a little cringy, but I loved it. I think the camaraderie between like Tom Brady, Gronk, Julian, all those guys, I just think it's still neat to see all these years later. So I think it's fun. And I've heard, I don't know if this is true, but I heard the next one is Tiger Woods.
Oh wow.
Which talk about content for days. Like
right? You guys are set.
I don't know if that's true or if it was, I can't remember the source that I read it on, because you know I can get tricked a lot. So that happens a lot. I could see it though. I mean,
it takes a certain kind of person that could go on television and get roasted, knowing that like everything in your personal life is on the table,
about to be aired. Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, I thought Tom was a good sport about it. You know, you have to understand everybody's going to get roasted. That's ever been a part of your private life. But I thought they did such a good job.
I did think there were a couple. I loved that Peyton Manning was there. I've always loved the vibe between the two of them. But I thought it was funny that Eli Manning tweeted something like, "I was going to go to the roast, but I to do it a third time or fourth time or whatever, however many times." That was so funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, totally worth a watch. Let's switch gears, I think, and talk a little bit about sports. I think we did most. Oh, well, one thing we haven't really talked about, and I'll be honest, I think I need to do more research. But if you are not aware, we are currently in a war. Now, this war is not in the Middle East or abroad. This is here on the homeland.
I was like, where is she going?
We got a rap war going on, and I don't mean a rap battle like in 8 Mile. Like we got a rap war. Now, if this was 10 years ago, we'd probably have 20 dead people by now, but we don't. Kendrick Lamar and Drake are beefing, if you will, and they are exchanging diss tracks. There's been a little bit of a lull because I'll be honest, I feel like Kendrick has owned Drake, which I'm here for. Yeah, I'm here for. I mean, I like Drake's music. I'm always going to be Team Kendrick because he's Team Taylor. But also, I just think his stuff has been more creative. And I feel like Drake is kind of like, I'm Drake. And like, nobody cares anymore, dude. Like,
so I think I saw on TikTok, it was the best breakdown of why Kendrick is winning. And it's that Drake is doing a diss that he's trying to appeal to the masses. And Kendrick is literally doing a diss right at Drake. Just hitting the personal mark and getting to the nitty gritty. So it's impressive.
Yeah, they're good songs too. And like, this is, I think, the first time in Drake's career that his tracks that are coming out they have more dislikes than likes on like every streaming network. So it's
do
interesting.
We know why the battles or it started? Do we know why they're not friends?
No, we're not educated enough to know that. Okay. I mean,
obviously this is not my world, but I was like, what started this?
I like that you think that I might know that. I'm trying to think if I even like I have no point of reference. It is a big debate in my house because Aaron is very much Team Drake in the situation, and so he thinks that like, oh, he's winning, and I'm like, son, this is not the olden days.
The rest of the world.
But back in the day, in the 90s, this is when people like Tupac and Biggie would get murdered. And there was a shooting at Drake's mansion in Toronto where his security guard was shot. I don't think it's related, but you just never know. So the other,
I was a rapper in that world and in that realm. I feel like I just wouldn't be picking fights. Even if somebody picked a fight with me, I feel like I would just be like, I'm good.
No. I just don't like when people, it's just not my thing. I mean, I'm gonna ride hard for Kendrick, but like, let's do something better
Right.
with our time. One other quick music note. I'm telling you, a Beyonce Cowboy Carter tour is coming. Um, there's just so many hints, and I think it's coming. And again, we have talked a lot about that. You feel very adamantly that Taylor needs to call it a day on the Eras tour. I'm of the camp that let's just go till we die. But I mean, I do want her to get married, but whatever.
I just need her to be available for all things NFL. So as
Yeah,
long as it doesn't interfere with that, then Godspeed.
yeah. But there's a lot of stuff coming out now on Beyonce's like website and stuff where they're like showing a tour ticket, and the word sold out. I just think something's coming. She just finished the Renaissance tour not that long ago, so it would be a quick turnaround to do a whole nother tour. Was so convinced she was going to do a Vegas residency with this Cowboy Carter thing. Then I heard those talks fell through, but I'm still not convinced that's not going to happen because it seems more of a better move.
Yeah, I feel like this would not be a good tour album, but some kind of Vegas residency. I feel it was very odd to me how like there was so much PR and push and talk about Cowboy Carter, and then it like after a week you literally don't hear anything about it.
I am interested to see. So if we're talking about the charts in music, I mean, TTBD has obviously owned the charts. I think that will continue. Billie Eilish's album's about to come out. I've said on here, I'm just not vibing with Billie, but she might get a number one for a minute, but I don't think that'll last long either.
Yeah. I think if I'm a musical artist, I'm just going to take a seat until Taylor takes the seat. And then when she sits down, then I'll be like, I'm still here. Like, then I'm going to release something. But I feel like while Taylor's literally owning the world right now, I just don't know that anything is going to get much space.
I will say too, one note on that I thought about yesterday. I was pretty convinced that TTPD would not win Album of the Year. I still am leaning towards I don't think they'll give it to her. But I will say that the new addition to the set list and the choreography and everything, I could see it pushing it up there. Especially if Beyonce doesn't do anything, if this Billie album is boring. Dua's album came out and nobody really cared. I mean,
well, and I think Billie also coming off of her song from the Barbie movie, you really got to top that for you to start winning awards on this new thing as well. So again, I really thought TTPD was one of those, I just need to put these songs out and be done with it so I can move on. And the first time I listened to it, I was like, but the more I see it, and now that she's actually performed some of those songs live, I'm like, it stands a chance to win some things.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, listen, if this one doesn't win the songwriting award, I'm just losing all faith in the Grammys.
Listen,
the fact that she's never won it is asinine to me, but this album especially, like, come on.
Yeah.
But all right, let's quickly do a quick sports roundup before we end. WNBA, our players that we've been following made their debuts.
And did well.
Yeah. They showed up. So Taurasi, get ready. Caitlin Clark's ready for you. I did see that Angel Reese got a lot of flack because she went to the Met Gala instead of a practice, and then she came back in the next game and still had a double, and she was like, she tweeted, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me."
Gotta love it. You gotta love it.
You're perfect. I love that. I was really sad to see, though, that Camila Cordova from South Carolina, she got hurt. She banged up her shoulder in the first game, and now she's out for 2 months. I really liked her.
Yikes.
Yeah. I liked her too. I mean, all of them did really well. Cameron Brink had 11 points. She started, played half the game. Caitlin had a team high 21 points. Angel had, I loved it. Angel Reese walked in and just starts blocking shots in the WNBA. Of course she does.
I mean, this is a different caliber of collegiate athletes that are stepping into the WNBA than what they're used to. So Taurasi making her statement might have been true a couple of draft classes ago, but it's a whole different group of women.
I think she's in for a rude awakening, and I can't wait to watch that game. We need to look up when that is.
really upset that all of the preseason games were on, what was it called, League Pass? I was like, what?
Yeah, I saw a lot about that. And, it ended up, when I made the notes, it was at 500,000 streams for the Angel Reese game. It ended up well over 1 million just iPhone streams. Yeah, I thought that was crazy, but I have seen that they're making changes and getting it added to networks. I mean, I think that this really could be what the WNBA always needed.
Yeah. Listen, if you're always putting on like League Pass or some random streamer that no one has, obviously you're not going to get money and you're not going to get fans that come into the league. So yeah, get it to where people can actually watch it. Because I had looked up almost all these games and I was like, can't even watch them? That's crazy.
Yeah. The NBA playoffs are happening. I haven't even really kept up. Of course, my Lakers are out, as we've talked about, but it's just kind of the NBA is really down this season, and I mean, bring it on, women! Like, this is the time to shine. So
all the men are acting like fools in the media, and so for like me, obviously I'm not an NBA fan, but if there's some interesting characters or there's something good going on, I'll watch a game. But when I see all these guys in the media complaining and whining, and I don't want to watch. No, thank you.
Yeah. All right, are we ready for our segment, the why factor?
The why factor.
All right, let's start with the bad today, so we can end on a good.
Okay.
What are you not liking and why?
So, I had two, but I think I'm going to go with what my original one was. It's just normal people at events where celebrities are. Can we stop with getting our phones out? I was watching a clip of Travis at the Kentucky Derby, and the race is literally happening. So what you bought these tickets for is happening. And these people are turned around with their phone up in his face.
Yeah.
I just can't fathom where in your mind you go that you're like, this is totally fine to invade someone's. I get it. It's a celebrity and it's cool and you want to get a picture, but I promise you, if you're that close to him, there's going to be a picture you can get off the TV because there's cameras everywhere. It was so weird to me that I just can't fathom being somewhere, even if it was Taylor Swift that walked up and I pulled my phone out and just start recording like that. They're not animals in a zoo. It was just so weird that I was like, let's not do this.
Yeah. No, yeah. I thought they were commenting. I don't guess I even noticed this, but at one of the Eras Tours stops that he was at, I think it was Argentina, but I can't remember. He was like in the tent and somebody flash went off really big and he like ducked and they said it looked like he almost fell. I didn't even notice it, but now that I've seen the replay, like, yeah, he was very startled.
Crazy.
So that is interesting.
Nice. Yeah.
All right. Take it easy.
What do you
don't act like you've been here before is what I want to say. Even if you haven't, it's fine.
Right. You're not going to be invited back if this is how you behave.
No. My thing that I'm disliking kind of goes along somewhat with that, but then also what we were talking about with the Met Gala. I am over the influencer age. Like, you have no talent. Like,
you're really good at
people like Anna Wintour are giving you a platform, and like, I just am over that. Like, it's promoting, to me, it's also teaching kids, like, you can literally just like do nothing and be something, and that's not real life.
Well, it's not sustainable either.
No. Yeah. So I'm just over it. I'm over the influencers. Like, y'all don't need to sell me anything else. Like, just stop.
I think it's more organic, normal things that happen is what we like to see. All of these, we understand that you're staging it, you've prepped it and planned it. Like, it's just not fun to watch anymore. So I like that one. That's a good one.
Yeah. All right. What are you liking and why?
All right. So I'm loving this week when social media comes together for justice. I love to see it. I'm sure, and we've talked about that whole Micah Miller situation.
Yes.
Pastor's wife that passed away in South Carolina, Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
I just love to see that social media is like, we're not letting this one die off. Like, they're pushing for. Obviously, that's not always the best thing because sometimes they latch on to things that maybe we shouldn't. But it's nice to see when people can kind of come together and like for the good of someone that's not even here to realize that you're rallying around her. So.
Yeah, that is a good one. We probably should dig it. We'll add that to the show notes for the next week's episode because probably more will come out. We need to kind of dig into that because we love a good true crime, and that is a messy situation.
Very.
So what I am liking, I am liking celebrity crossover friendships. So
Okay.
example would be like we'll just use Travis for example. NFL player, right? Yes, he's dating the
Mhm.
world's most popular musician. He's besties with comedians. He's investing in sports with Ryan Reynolds. You know, like that kind of
Yeah.
vibe. I think Jason Kelsey's friendship with the McElhaney's, like with Rob and his wife, I just like that crossover. And I feel like that is kind of a newer thing. I do think social media has helped usher that in. But if you think back in the day, like it was like George Clooney and Brad Pitt, like these people, Julia Roberts, like they were friends. But you didn't
Mhm.
really see them unless they dated somebody else. Like you didn't really see them do all this crossover. And now it's like all these worlds are so enmeshed. It is so perfect for people like us that
Yeah.
love the entertainment, the pop culture, but we love the sports too. It's just like the perfect conglomerate. And I would applaud social media because I really do think that like helps them kind of connect more,
Yeah.
and then they see like mutual interests, like, oh, you're into that too, or whatever. So yeah, that's what I'm loving right now. Thank y'all
Well,
for that because I need that escape right now. So
right. Well, it fosters having that social media. It kind of fosters those relationships where they might not know, oh, so and so is also into this, or they're a good resource to get into this. And so then when we see them get together, we get all these great new things that they come up with.
well, and, I said back in the day they didn't do this. Maybe they did, and we didn't have social media to see it. I don't
Yeah,
know. And so anyway, I'm loving that. But that's what
that's a
I
good
got.
one. I like it.
All
That was
right. Well, I think that about wraps it up for this week. We'll be back next week with God only knows what will happen. So
who knows?
maybe
Possibilities
I
are
won't have 14 pages of show notes. We'll see. I mean, I would like to say though, we literally hit every item on there. I'm
you
pretty
really
sure,
did.
except
I'm
for
a,
one, the Miss Teen or the Miss USA scandal. So we're gonna be
we can touch on
next
that
week,
next.
maybe scandal heavy. So we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, y'all.
Bye, guys.